worries at all, Brian. Thank you for joining us. Then making time during your holiday. That is that's quite nice to have that dedication. So, Brian, you will be the presenter of this breakout session. So, in name of Cars to Click, Cars to View, etc., you'll be talking about the about Maria, about cross-border approach, about geopricing. So we'll, of course, looking forward to the evolutions of your products and services. Brian, you know the drill. We will leave you the stage right away, so people will be able to enter certain questions if they wish in the chat function, which we can then have a look at the end of your presentation. So I'll be joining you again more or less 5 minutes before the end of the time slot. If you end earlier, then I'll then of course pick in, and then we can have a look to have that chat, that Q&A. So for all the people, feel free again to use the chat function to leave certain questions for Brian, so that we can pick that up at the end of the presentation. Brian, enjoy the presentation yourselves as well, I would say, and see you at the end.
Thank you, David. I will start.
Very good.
Okay, so I will start by sharing my screen. So give me 1 second. So, sorry, this was definitely wrong. So, now we're ready. And today I'm going to talk about something that we call cross-border pricing, geopricing and cross-border sales and pre-sales. So I'm going to run you through how we're working with this. But more importantly, I'm going to talk about the value that we have experienced with some cases that we had with some of our customers. So, but before, in case that you don't know who we are, then just very quickly, then I'll explain Cars to Click. And it all started with a frustration and idea in 2017 and 18, where we saw some opportunities that was in the market and some needs about how to use the data and artificial intelligence to ensure that we had the right opportunities when it came to cross-border sales. So this when it all started. And in February 2019, Cars to Click was started as a European company based in Sweden. And immediately we started the project AI Maria and geopricing that I'm going to talk about today. In 2020, we developed something we call Cars to View, which is an IT solution that I'll also explain a little bit later. And we were the lucky winner of the 2020 Fleet Europe, as they call, Innovation Award. And very happy with that, with our AI Maria project. 2021, we decided to start our own transport company, mainly because we wanted to have the full control of the documentation and the VAT refunding from the governments, which is a hassle when you do cross-border sales. And at that time, we already existed in 16 countries. Now in 2022, we have launched a public version of Cars to View in Europe, in Germany and France first, and now we're rolling it out in the other countries. And news as of today, it's not been published yet, but we are going to do Cars to Exchange as of September this year. We already started the testing a little bit, which is that we will be offering to buy cars online from private customers, but not as our own, but as a white label solution for those of you who need that. And 2023, I'm happy to say that we just decided that we are going to launch our company in North America, US and Canada. So it has been quite a fast journey since 2017-18 when we got the idea and, as I said, frustration about what was going on, and until now. And I'm sure more will come. So this has been super exciting. And of course, you all know this. All this been done in a challenging period where we had the COVID and then lack of supply. And well, maybe last I should tell you that AI Maria Invest is the holding company and is privately owned. We still don't have any investors. We managed to do all this with the money that we made of our business during this time. So quite proud of that. Okay, into what we're going to talk about then, geopricing. and cross-border sales are very, very uniquely linked to each other. But geopricing is something that is not just about knowing the price in each country. You need to know the B2B pricing in what we're doing, like when we're doing trading between professional buyers and sellers. So we needed to create something that's a VAT and tax calculator. It's not just that we needed to understand the different VATs in different countries, like 19 in Germany, 25 in Sweden, and so on. We needed to understand what is the tax implication when you import a car from one country to another. If we didn't do that, then we would always say that Denmark would be the place where you would get the highest price, because they have like 150% tax or something like that, depends on the vehicle. So we needed to build that. And
Sorry, Brian. Sorry to disturb you for a second. I think it might be that you have two screens which are open, because I'm seeing your now we're at the right presentation. It was stuck. So okay, you can go forward, and even if you wish, you can put it in full presentation mode if you to make it even more visible.
Do you see it again?
Now it's well. Yeah, you can and you can enlarge in full presentation mode if you wish. That's up to you.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll have to go into the here. Sorry for this, guys. Full presentation.
On the right-hand side.
On the right-hand side. There.
Yeah, on the bottom you have a small icon. That's of course when you're working remote, not having the full technical devices. So now
you see my screen, right?
No, I don't see it. So you need to share it again.
Entire screens. Okay, there we go. I had only a window.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, David.
All right. Good. Leave. Perfect.
Okay. So I'm sorry for that, but I hope you heard what I was saying. So the most important part is to really have an understanding about geopricing and what is the real B2B prices in each country. And for that, we spent some time on building this VAT and tax calculator. And this is an ongoing project where we have lawyers in each country that are monitoring the tax changes that will happen in the future, and are then alarming us when something needs to be changed in our algorithms. So everything is based on the data that we get and then the algorithms that we have here, which means that with this geopricing, we can identify which country we can buy or sell a vehicle for the highest price, or if you want to buy for the lowest price. So, and all this is real B2B pricing. This has been the biggest challenge that we did, apart from the whole thing about equipment and that. But this was a really big challenge, and it's still ongoing, as I said. The other thing we did was that we created something called geomatching, because when we have identified where we want to sell a car, if we want to sell it in the Netherlands, we also want to know who is the most likely buyers. And we did something we call geomatching. And geomatching is profiling of all car dealers in Europe, where we are scanning at this moment. Now we're also starting scanning outside Europe. But that means that more than 120,000 car dealers, each of them have a profile inside our solution where we know exactly what they buy and what they sell on a monthly basis. And this gives us a unique opportunity to, instead of just emailing all car dealers in the Netherlands, we can offer the specific cars that we think are interesting for that country or that dealer directly. And that gives us, that makes everything a lot faster and a lot more direct. And last but not least, we don't want people to do this. So we're using AI Maria, which is our digital assistant, to use geopricing and geomatch. And as soon as Maria identified the most likely buyers, she will actually send the offer to them. And then last but not least, as I mentioned, we have geomatch, and we see who is doing what, who is buying and who's selling which cars. But we offer these car dealers, or all car dealers that are using the solution Cars to View, that I'm going to present in a minute, we offer them to create their own profile. So we will give them the profile based on what we see they have online. And then they can use the data to understand what should they buy to be more successful. What is the fast-moving cars in each of their countries? And then with that sourcing profile, they can create a wish list that we then start looking at and start sourcing cars for them. And that then becomes part of their profile. So this is an ongoing project where the AI will keep track on which cars they have online, but the user themselves can update this profile if they want to. So what is geopricing and the impact on new car sales is quite important, and I'm just going to talk about it a little bit here. Because if you're using geopricing as an OEM or as a remarketing company, we can all help each other to make sure that the prices stay stable. We all want that. We don't want to pump 300 cars into a country where they only have a demand for 100, because all we do is we destroy the pricing. We all understand that, of course. So what we're saying is that with geopricing, we can see how many cars are being sold per month, how many cars are for sale at a given time, and how's the price level in that market. And if it's stable, then that's a good situation, right? And then we don't pump more cars into that country. But in other situation where we have too few cars and the prices are getting very high, it's an opportunity to sell cars in there. And instead of destroying it in one market, we leverage from the high price in one market. And that, at the end of the day, increases the RVs. And when you increase RVs, we all understand that this is how everything works, right? AI, data, market monitoring. With that, you can make the right decision. You can do cross-border pricing. You can cross-border trade, so you can sell the cars to the right countries. The RVs go up, the TCOs improve, and the new car sales improve. So it's really about not just finding the way where you can sell for the highest price or buy for the lowest. It's about how you maintain the right balance in the market using the pricing tool we have created. So what is geopricing and how is it working? So what we do is that every day, Maria is sending out scanners and robots to collect data from all over Europe. And it's not just normal data. This is about how you can have data that's been transformed into smart data. So we start by geopricing, and then we take away the VAT, we take away the taxes, but we even include damage and the logistic module. So inside the AI, there's a lot of algorithms going on about making sure the cars can be compared from one country to another. You all know that comfort trim in Denmark is not the same as in Spain and so on. So it's down to equipment level. And that then makes everything different. And if we then can use the tools that we have with damage module and logistic module, then we can calculate exactly how much can we get for a car in Spain that is for sale in Spain, how much can we get for that in France, in Germany, in Denmark, and Sweden, with the different cost of the transportation, and also the different ways of looking at damages. So it's a new way where all the manual work that people would spend hours on doing is no longer needed. We can become a lot more faster and a lot more accurate. Very quickly, just explain. It all starts with scanning. All the data that is being collected is standardized and normalized inside the AI. It goes into our data factory where data from Spain and Germany and France and Denmark can be compared on equipment level. And then all the B2B price calculations with taxes and transport and damages are being calculated if that's available. And at the end, we have geopricing and geomatch. And with that, we then can create a heat map and know exactly where these vehicles should be sold. And it's not just price, it's also, as I said, about balance and where we have too few or too many cars for sale in terms of balance. One example here is that Skoda Enyaq, where we see that the prices in Europe are very different. And we have two kinds of prices. One is prices including taxes and one is ex-taxes. And you can easily see that in this case, Romania, Poland, Sweden have very low, and Austria have very low prices. And at the other end, Germany, Denmark top, where in this case, Germany is the place where we could get the highest price. So there's a lot of money to be made in locating it, allocating the cars to the right market and identifying that. And in this case, it's more than 5,000 euros in difference. Of course, you need to pay for transportation, but there's, I think, more than enough room on this specific vehicle. So when you do things like this, then you really come into the really nitty-gritty of geopricing. Where is the really value of this? And here's an example of where we made some geoprice analysis on some cars. In this case, just 43 cars that we took out. And actually 33 cars of the 43 could give you a higher price in another country. And a total price increase of 6%. And in this case, 36,000 euros on the sale of these 43 cars. So it's quite a significant amount that you can get if you're using geopricing. And we had examples where the seller in France only sold vehicles in France, and then we discovered that we could actually sell, in this case here, 77% of the cars outside France with a higher price. And all these are just a complete normal set of cars. There's nothing specific in terms of fuel types or anything. This is completely normal sell. So just take those numbers and then put it into perspective. If you have 1,000 cars, average price 25, let's say 40% of the cars could be cross-border sold. I think it would be higher. We just saw 77%. Let's say 40. And additional price then be 1,500, then it's the 6% value. You're talking about 600,000 euros for each 1,000 cars you sell, just by using geopricing and identifying where to sell. It's quite a high amount, and I'm sure you all can understand it. So this is the way we've been using geopricing to identify where to sell. But then we also decided to do something else, and that is to do pre-selling, because there's a lot of things that are being wasted in the normal return process, where we have cars returned, it's tested, it's priced, it's put on an auction once or twice or even 3 times before it's sold, and then it's been delivered. So we decided that with geopricing, we can identify where to sell a vehicle earlier. We don't need to wait until it comes back, right? So we said, let's do the whole process before. So we do the geopricing a few months before a vehicle being returned, and then we sell it. We sell, of course, with estimated damages and so on, so that the buyer knows what to buy. But then after return, we still do the testing, and then we do delivery. But what ends up is that we save a lot of time and money, shorting down the lead time on this. So geopricing will tell you where to get the 6% more, or whatever it will be. And this pre-selling and allocating your fleet to your customers before return will save time and also money. So it's 1 + 1 becomes 3 here. And then this is our way of doing it. The way we simply do is we have the daily scanning. We have all the car dealers that we have matched, and we know who's buying and who's selling what. We give them a sales profile. We do the geopricing and the geo matching with our AI Maria. We target the country, and after we target the country, we target the buyers. And with this, we think that this is the right way to shorten your lead time, improve your profit, and use geopricing, cross-border sales, and pre-sales in one unique end-to-end solution for remarketing. And before I finish off, because I have ample of time, I will just go out of this and show you that this is all alive and kicking. So it's called, just going to do here, I have to reload this page, sorry for this. So what we have here is that Cars to View is an online solution that's available for everybody who wants to sign up for this. We actually have a very special pricing on this tool. I'll come back to that in a few minutes. But here you can get some information about how many cars are online, what is the average price in the market right now. You can also follow and see how is the fuel type changing over time. If I change here for Germany, you will immediately see the numbers change. If I change here for Denmark, and if you just keep an eye on hybrid and electric, then you will see that there's a whole new picture on how that country is accepting plug-in hybrids and electrical cars. So we just made this market watch available for everybody, so you can get all these nice to know information in real time. This is updated every day, and when we say 30 days, we always look 30 days back. Now, if you want to go into more details, you can do that. You can either request a report, and then you will know more about the details in your exact country. If you want to know, you can easily click and follow. You can also go into details about the fuel types and the mileage and so on. And you can even go here and check and see which of the vehicles are the top selling vehicles in my market right now, which vehicles have the best balance. And if you then go and you discover that if you were a car dealer, and you suddenly discover here, oh, I don't have any Dacias for sale, and it looks like there's quite a lot of cars being sold in the market, then you could go to the other side and check exactly which Dacias do you want. And you can say, oh, but I want to buy some Dacia Docker. you can just click here and you can then add this to a wish list. And this wish list is then updating your profile. And this is how we are using the data to combine the car dealers and the buyers with our sellers. So these car dealers will then tell us that they are looking for these vehicles. And in the wish list, we will then be able to see that you would just added this Dacia Docker to your wish list. And of course, all the things that I talked about before, geopricing. Immediately you go and you want to know about the Skoda from 2021. And do like this. And here you then have the pricing in the different countries. What has been sold the last 30 days is historical data. And what's on the market right now is the prices that are there. And you can actually go as deep as say, but I want to check these cars that are here. And immediately you go down to the country. And you see over here we move from geopricing to geosearch. And on the right side, if you want to see the specific car, you just click and the car is available in front of you. So it's a top drill down where you start with the market data. You create your wish list. You can look at geopricing. You can search. And last but not least, you can actually sell cars directly. You can upload cars directly to Cars to Click. So again, it's a way of us to make the AI and data solutions available and give you the opportunity to start using that for your. Sorry, I'm trying to find you here again. So give you the opportunity to use those solutions to improve your cross-border sales and your B2B remarketing. And I think I left 7 minutes, David.
Yeah, you still have 7 minutes, but I think it's indeed very valuable for even having that small demo in live. Thank you for that, Brian. That's always making it very tangible for participants or for potential partners of yours to see how this works. That's at the end. Also, these sessions are recorded. If you are okay with it, this will also be shared later on
Absolutely.
the YouTube channels, etc., where you have quite some visitors which follow up on a later stage. So no, absolutely valuable. Brian, perhaps just from myself, a small question. We have a question here. I think let's have a look first to that from Nicolas Saal from Jeffco. Do you deliver all the dealers anywhere in each country where you sell with your own trucks in reasonable lead times, and how do you manage to combine your flows with others to get back flows to be competitive on the full loop?
Yeah, the way we do is that every time we sell a vehicle, we always sell it including transportation, and we are using different transport companies as our partners. So we have a logistic team that coordinates all of this. And as Nicholas knows, this is one of the biggest challenges in the world of remarketing, is to make sure that we have a short lead time, that we pick up the right vehicle with the right equipment, no damages and all this detection. So it's a very, very good question. And we have some measures in place to do this in a good manner today. We even have a lot of our customers requesting us to pick up cars that they bought somewhere else, not from Cars to Click, but from BCA or whatever they have bought car from, because we have managed to get our lead time really, really short. We will, within the next 6 months, launch, and this is now Nicholas is asking, then I'll reply to it. We will launch a complete new digital solution for when you pick up and when you deliver cars, which will be linked to, so when someone has sold a car, when they bought a car, they can track it online. They can see photos of when the car was picked up and when it was delivered. You can even track it in real time on the road where it's going. So full transparency of the whole process, which I today feel is a little too, you don't know when the car was picked up, you don't know how it was, and there's a lot of, no, but the car was nice when you picked it up, and all transport guys in the trucks, they just write damages on the cars on the CMRs. It doesn't really work, but that's a way for them to get out of it. So we really need a complete new structure for making sure the quality and also lead time is monitored on transportation. So since we're doing all our own transportations and even transports for other companies as well, we will do this, and this will be inside our digital flow. So
Yeah, and I can imagine that also optimizing transport and logistics is key nowadays with reusing, raising fuel costs, etc. So yeah, makes sense to pay a lot of attention to that for sure.
But I know Nicholas is also quite far ahead with things like that. So I understand his question is that we are both doing things in this, and they are a very important company in the scope of this. And I said we don't have any trucks, and what we do is we partner up with companies that can help us to improve the lead time and the quality of our logistics. And Nicholas is in there, so thank you for the question.
Makes sense then that the question was raised. Yeah, absolutely. One more question from Nicholas.
Yes, we will. It's an API interface. It's an online solution, and it's all integrated. So we will integrate with GIFCO as well.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, there are no further questions. Brian, you're on holiday, so I'm not going to keep you up much longer. Appreciate always such clear presentations. I think that for those who didn't know you yet, that makes things more understandable. People, please do feel free to reach out to Brian by any means, LinkedIn later on, or through the chat if you want. And Brian, I would say then I wish you all the best preparing your new market rollout in the United States. All the best.
That is a little challenge that came just. We've been talking about it for quite some time. That we should start looking at it, and then like a month ago, it came as a request that we need you there. So then we decided to go full speed. So it's always challenging. I mean, you know us. We've been friends for a long time and talked a long time. So it's been a wonderful journey. And just want to say what I tried to do today is, I mean, we do this presentation, we talk about these in theoretic, we can do this and this is a good idea. I just wanted to show a little bit about money. And these, the numbers I showed, these are real money. These are money that was made a few weeks ago by one customer by doing this. And and it's really, and we made some analysis together with some companies on a larger scale. We're not talking about 1,000 cars, but we talk about, now just an example, right? We talk about thousands and thousands of cars. And when you go in, imagine you are a dealer, or not dealer, but you're an OEM, and you have 20,000 or 50,000 cars, and you can up your B2B pricing, your cross-border pricing with 6%. The impact that will have on your residual values and the impact that will have on the TCO calculations, it goes straight into the cost of ownership and the renting and the subscription where everybody is moving right now, right? So it's really, really a powerful tool that OEMs, renting, leasing, everybody needs it. It's really powerful.
No doubt about that. That data is a big driver for the future businesses. Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Okay, but thank you.
Thank you
for listening. Those listen, and feel free. I'll type my. Can they see the chat? No.
Yeah, sure. You can. The people see the chat, so feel free to put your data in there. You can also do that in the general chat. Yeah, that's Brian's email address. So bm@cars2click.com.
More than welcome.
Yeah. So
we love to talk to people, both wants to start using our data, or someone who thinks that they have something that can make us even better. So we love partnerships, and feel free to contact me if you want.
Customer and partners. I hope you will get some. I'm quite convinced. Okay, Brian. Well, thank you a lot. Wishing you a nice day, and see you later, perhaps still in the event, and otherwise one of the upcoming weeks.
We'll talk to you. Have a good. Bye.
Bye, Brian.